Welcome to 4.9. We're going to be finding the missing number in complex proportions. All right, so we did find the missing number problems like this early in the year, right? So 5 times what makes 15? 3, so 7 times 3. The missing number is 21, makes them proportional. Here, 8 divided by nothing makes 5 in number 2, so we're going to simplify the first fraction. And that simplifies to 1/2 if you divide both of those numbers by 8. Oh, so no, we're making 1/2. So the missing number is 5/10, or 10 is the missing number. This time you have to simplify 3/12 to 1/4. Oh, so the other missing number must be 1 to make them both equal to 1/4. 1/2. Now this one's harder, right? 2 times what makes 5? Wow, 2 times, because that's already simplified. So 2 times blank equals 5. So what number could go there? Well, what would cancel the 2 and turn it into 5? Well, it turns out 5/2 would do that. 5 divided by 2, right? So if that's multiplied by 5/2, that must be multiplied by 5/2. And the missing number is 5/2. So let's see this again. So 2/3 equals 7 over blank. 2 times 7. Now, hopefully you could do it this way. You see that 2 times, right, 2 times 3 would make 6. 2 times 3.5 makes 7, but there's a procedure you could do. So we multiply that by 7/2. The 2's cancel out, and that turns it into 7. So if that's 7/2, that's 7/2. So the number here must be 21/2. It's a complex proportion. Right, so before we get to that, your first thing you want to do is simplify your fraction that you have. Right, so that's 4 divided by 1/2, which is the same as 4 times 2. This is 8, also known as 8 over 1. So if that's 8, right, we've simplified that to 8. 1 times 3 is 3. 8 times 3 is 24. So to find the missing number, you're going to do the trick. Yeah, and if you understand that 1/2 times, you also could have done 1/2 times 6 equals 3 if you see that. But most people, that's a little tricky. Right, and 4 times 6 is 24. You simplify the fraction, whatever it is. This was 8, which is 8 over 1, and then you use the trick. So let's try the next one. All right, so we have to simplify 1/5 divided by 2, which is 1/5 times 1/2. So this is 1/10. Let's just cross that out. So that's that. So 1 times 3 is 3, and this is 30. To make the missing number, 1/5 divided by 2 is 1/10. So to make 3 over something 1/10, you have to have 3/30ths. The missing number is 30. All right, so we have 1/3 divided by 1/5, which is 1/3 times 5, which is 5/3. So this side simplifies to 5/3. Oh, 3 times 4 is 12. 5 times 4, the missing number there is 20. Now all this hard stuff is all due to the fact that you have complex fractions in your proportions. Right? They were way easier when there weren't fractions in your fractions. Now, this is the one I was showing you in the warm-up. Right? 2/3 is already simplified, so you can't, simplifying 2/3 isn't going to get us anywhere. But we can use this little trick, right? We need to get rid, right? We're going to, just like unit conversions, we're going to cancel the 2 and turn it into a 5. So we're going to multiply it by 5/2. So we multiply that one by 5/2, we multiply that one by 5/2, and the missing number is 3 times 5/2, also known as 15/2. That makes it proportional. 2/3 equals 5 divided by 15/2. Let's try it again. 4/5 is simplified, so we multiply by 7/4. The 4 cancels the 4 and turns 4 into 7. If you multiply that one by 7/4, you multiply that one by 7/4. 5 times 7/4, 35/4. Right, now we can make those mixed numbers, but you don't have to unless you're asked that. Right, so now 1/8 equals what over 10? Well, 1/8 is simplified, so we're going to go 10 over 8. 8's cancel, makes that 10, so this is 10/8, which means this is 10/8. Now 10/8 should be simplified to 5/4. 3/8, right? You're going to turn 8 here, though, right? We don't need this trick. 8 times 2 is 16, 3 times 2 is 6, right? Because all the numbers are whole. But let's say you're doing the homework, and I stuck that one in the middle of the homework, so you're doing them all the same way without thinking, right? So you would multiply this by 16/8. Well, 16/8 is 2, right? That's what's going on there. And so you'd multiply that by 16/8. Yeah, and you'd get 3 times 16 divided by 8. Well, what's 3 times 16 divided by 8? 3 times 6 is 18. You get 48 divided by 8. You get 6. You get 6 no matter what. But you don't want to do all this when you can just go 8 times 2 is 16 and 3 times 2 is 6. But this actually always does work. Right? So we've simplified 3/7, so let's see, right? Because, so 5 times what makes 7? So we're going to do 7/5. So this is blank times 7/5 equals 3. What might make it easier if we do 3/7 equals blank over 5. Let's try that. Then we multiply times 5/7, right? And then that times 5/7. Oh, that's way easier, isn't it? It's 15/7. Yeah, because this was 15/7 times 7/5 equals 3, but who wants to do that? So if you're having to do this, this is the one time you want to switch around your equation. So again, you could multiply by something to turn 7 into 4, but let's turn it around. 4 times what makes 7? Well, 7/4. So this is 7/4, and so the missing number there is 7/4. Let's practice. All right, so we're going to simplify this fraction. All right, instead of turning 1/4 into 3, we could do it that way. But 1/4 divided by 5, I want you to simplify the fractions if you can. So 1/4 divided by 5 is the same as 1/4 times 5, which is 5/4. So that left fraction makes 5/4. All right, how do you turn 5 into 3? Well, 5 times 3/5 equals 3. So 4 times 3/5 is 12/5 is the missing number. All right, 3 divided by 1/2 is the same as 3 times 2, which is 6. So this simplifies to 6, also known as 6 over 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 6 times 5 is 30. All right, that's 30 over 5 equals 6, with 3 over 1/2 equals 6. 6 times what makes 5? Well, 1/6 is already simplified, so let's multiply it by 5/6. That'll turn that into a 5. 1 times 5/6? 5/6 is the missing number. 2 times what makes 3? 2 times 3/2 makes 3. So we're going to multiply that by 3/2, and you get 27/2 is the missing number. This is the one where you might want to turn it around. So 10/7 equals 3 over blank. So we can multiply the top one by 3/10, and we multiply this one by 3/10, and you get 21/10 as your missing number. Good luck with the homework.